Guys, I'm back. Sorry for the long wait for a video. I've been busy moving. I'm now in my location in a private suite. It's been going great. So the main reason for this video is starting every Wednesday, I'm going to start dropping Loc knowledge. And it's going to be with me while I'm eating lunch, and I'm going to give you Loc knowledge and show you different things that your Locs are supposed to go through. So yeah, let's get into the video. Hey guys, let's jump right in. Let's get straight into coils, starter coils. So starter coils are basically when you start off with your hair in natural state. You have no relaxer, no nothing. Even though you can start with relaxers on your ends, I recommend you don't because it takes time for them to eventually lock. With starters, so beginning off in a starting stage, you would avoid washing your hair for 4 to 6 weeks. When people tell you longer than that, no. Long as you're keeping up with a professional loctician, or if you're washing your hair on your own, you're making sure that you're not unraveling your locks at the same time, a wash is fine. Between your washes, you need to make sure you're maintaining your locks by make sure you're putting oils through your locks, make sure your oils are not heavily, but penetrating with oils. You do not want dry locks. You also want to make sure that you're oiling your scalp at least twice a week. That's so the hair that's growing out your shaft and that's going to be locked next when your retwist is also healthy. You want to continue your healthy stage so that your hair stays pretty good. With coils, the maintenance, it could be two different things. You can either maintain coils by retwisting and palm rolling. That is used with the retwist comb, and usually the way I do it, when it's time for someone to get a retwist, I comb down the nap that has grown down from the scalp to the lock. Then I go in and I palm roll the rest of the hair into a palm roll. You also have the option of interlocking. With this option, usually interlocking doesn't allow your locks to swell as much. So with palm rolling, it gives you the chance to swell your locks to a pretty good size. So your locks will swell to about the part size. So if your part size is about a ½ inch, your lock will swell to about a ½ inch. With interlocking, if your part size is ½ inch, your lock will give or take swell about an inch to even less than that at a ½ inch. Thank you. With that, you just have to make sure whoever is maintaining your interlocking that they're not creating holes. You do not want holes in your interlocks. And when I say holes, that means whoever is interlocking your hair is not completing a complete circle. So if the part is in a square, you want to hit each angle of your square when you're bringing it in with your crochet hook to interlock. And you at least want to go around once, all the way through every circle, if that person only needs that for their retwist. You never want to go more than what their hair can handle. Also with coils, people have the notion of thinking everyone with coils can have curled ends. That's a hair texture thing. You want to be able, so let's not say that everyone can't. Let's be honest. If your hair is at its natural state, no chemicals, so that means you have not had no color, you have not had no relaxer, no texturizer. 9 times out of 10, if you're living in the stage of 4 and higher, so anywhere from 4 to 4B, 4A to 4B, your ends might not become curly unless you get color added, or whoever your loctician is working with your ends. They usually tend to just lock into like a little rolled ball like normal locks. When you start seeing curled ends, that's coming from someone from 3A to 3C hair. And that usually just happens if their ends are going to stay curly. Some people's eventually diminish. Me personally, like I don't have my locks out right now, but I comb my locks through at the ends to make sure they stay that way, and that's because I like that look, the bohemian look. So it's all a personal preference. So about coils, just leave comments at the bottom if you have any more questions about coils. We're going to get into 2-strand twist, but right here is a picture of coils. So now let's get into 2-strand twist. 2-strand twist, I have 2-strand twist. 2-strand twist is when, to start your lock, you twist your hair in 2 strands, and pretty much you do the same size as about coils or different sizes. The sizes vary. With 2-strand twist, it could take anywhere from 3 to a year and a half for your locks to eventually diminish and become a lock form. So it's about the same as if they were coils. You would make sure you're conditioning your locks. You would make sure that you're putting oil through your locks. Um, and on your scalp. Another thing with two strand, they do unravel. So I have a few locks that have tried to unravel, and what I just do is every retwist, I twist them back. Another thing I noticed about two strand twists are you can create holes when it becomes time for retwisting. So for an example, I retwisted my hair once, and then I had another loctician retwist my hair, and she goes the opposite way of what I go. So what happened was, basically, I was twisting my hair counterclockwise, and she went clockwise, and it just didn't go the flow of my two-strand twist. No, let me not discredit her. Granted, she did a wonderful job, yes. It's just every loctician twists different, so that's another thing you have to look out for when you're picking your particular loctician. So what I have noticed is, like, I have certain locks where basically it's 2 and 2, so this is half and half, and like they're sitting by each other, and then the two-strand twist start, and this is where it was retwisted. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm not worried about it in any shape or form. It's gonna do what it does. Another thing that's about two-strand twists that I've noticed, and maybe it's with my hair texture, I have 3C, 4A hair. I feel like my hair becomes more cottony with it being in two-strand twists. So what I mean by that, between when I need a retwist and I haven't had one, my hair becomes like, feeling like it's, I don't know. If I'm saying cotton, I'm pretty sure y'all understand what I mean by cotton. But then when I get a retwist, it doesn't feel like that. So I'm guessing maybe that's my hair texture and porosity, but maybe it also has something to do with two-strand. So here's a picture of two strands. Your wash and maintenance is about the same, 4 to 6 weeks. You stand on top of it. What I don't recommend with two-strand that I probably should start doing with myself, well, not don't, what I do, is to band your locks. So when I mean band your locks, this is a technique that's used for sister locks and braid locks or micro locks. And it's to stop them from unraveling. And I wasn't doing that in the beginning, but I think now that I've started researching more and more and more on locks, and I don't want my lock to come down as much, I'm going to start banding it when I wash it until they lock. Because right now, as I wash my locks, sometimes they do unravel. But here's a good example of two-strand twist. And next we're going to move on into instant starter locks. So for my favorite, instant locks. Instant locks, the reason why I say they're my favorite is because anyone, no matter if you're white, blue, green, black, purple, can have instant locks. So if you see my previous video, my first video, my tutorial on instant locks, she was of black and Hispanic race. And with her locks, her natural hair was straight, but I made her locks look like normal locks. This can happen with any type of hair. You can have relaxed hair, you can have natural hair, you can have straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair. Any type of hair can be instant locks. Instant locks, you go into the beauty shop, you come out locked. But pause, let me tell you this. Even though you skipped about 6 months of the locking stage, your hair still has to go through a locking process. So at this point, we manipulated your hair to the point where we were manipulating each shaft and each strand to the cortex to where when it's time and it's set over time, it starts to swell a little bit quicker, but your hair isn't completely locked. So when I'm saying your hair isn't completely locked, it has not been through the budding stage. So without your hair going through the budding stage, your hair can be combed out at any given time, and it can still unravel. Even though these are instantly locked, you still want to avoid wetting your hair. And what I mean by that is, yes, 4 to 6 weeks, no wash. And that's so you can start letting nature absorb in your locks and everything absorb and start to build up to lock. Let me tell y'all this, locks are 100% build up. There is no lock that does not have buildup in it. Even after a detox, your lock still has buildup in it. That is what causes the hair to lock, is some type of buildup. Whether it's product buildup, dirt buildup, sweat buildup, any type of buildup is what causes the lock to lock. When you detox, you're removing the bad buildup. So you want good buildup. So good buildup is oils. I mean, product buildup could be good and bad, and that depends on the product. You do not want product buildup if you have product that is going to sit. Meaning by that, a lot of people use waxes. Waxes aren't good. Well, I guess it's a personal preference, but I believe that waxes aren't good for the simple fact that waxes don't leave your hair, so it causes more buildup than normal. So your hair is picking up more dirt than what it normally would, opposed to using a gel or a pomade which I rather use a pomade because the pomades I use, they're conditioners. So eventually it melts into the hair and turns into a conditioner. And when I wash the hair, it washes completely out. It does not stay. So back to instant locks. With this process, it's funny because your lock will lock eventually like a normal traditional lock look, but also in the beginning you will not have a traditional lock look, and it might bother you. Like, it looks like a lock, but it does not, and that's because we manipulated the hair and matted it together. And to me, they're beautiful. I love instant locks because you can have relaxed hair and don't have to cut it off and instantly lock your hair, which I've learned recently that relaxed hair actually locks better than natural hair when it comes to instant locks. And I guess it's because of the harshness that the relaxer does to your hair. But retwisting and maintaining instant locks is the same as retwisting and maintaining coils or two-strand. You can palm roller, interlock. It doesn't matter which one you do. Once again, palm rolling is going to give you the same amount of budding and swelling as the part. Meanwhile, interlocking is going to take off some of that. So it depends on the personal look that you're looking for. Some people like bigger locks. I personally like the medium, bigger lock look. Some people like smaller locks, and that just depends. It's really a personal preference because every lock journey is your personal journey. But here's some pictures of instant locks. Here's some I've done. Instant locks also can have extensions added to them the same day. Coils and two-strand twists cannot. And that's because the way you install extensions is the same way you install instant locks. So it's just a continuing process. So here's pictures. Thank you. I will see y'all next time. Next Wednesday, we're going to continue the starter lock theme. Next, we were going to sister locks, micro locks, braid locks, and interlocking, starting from root to tip of interlocking. And thank y'all for tuning in, thank y'all for subscribing, thank y'all for commenting, thank y'all for supporting. I understand that I have been away for a second, but it was only to get back right and better for you guys, to bring y'all more content, to bring y'all more knowledge and everything I know about locks, and as I learn, y'all will learn. Thank y'all. Well, I haven't even been royally locked yet.